Well, here we are, and it feels like the end of an era. Honestly, I'm sorry. I don't believe for a second that they are working on a new Xbox. I believe what they are working on is just a. I've got so many bottles up here. What they're working on is like this one. What they're working on, I really just do not think is meant to be an Xbox successor at its core. I think it's just a PC hardware that they'll sell. Basically, it's kind of like the Steam machine. I think that's all they're doing is their own Steam machine. And they'll have their own games that you can get on this thing, and that's it. It's like, this is it. Sharma was put in place just to help phase shit out. There's no Xbox anymore. It's dead. I've been saying this. I've been saying this for a while. But it's dead. It is absolutely dead. And you need no further proof than the fact that they are laying off people. They are laying out. So, yeah, Microsoft is selling off 4 Xbox studios as part of a significant significant gaming cuts. Double Fine and Compulsion Games are going independent. Well, weren't they independent before Microsoft came along? So they're just going back to what they were. Independent, and Microsoft is also selling Ninja Theory and Undead Labs. Yeah, I think they're getting rid of what they feel like is their weakest link. What is this? I'm not paying you shit for fuck. I am not paying you shit for fuck. Are you kidding me? Yeah, that was the way. Yeah, you can get rid of that by quickly clicking the X, refreshing. Oh, yeah. So Microsoft is laying off 4,800 employees today, and more than 30% of the job losses are in the company's Xbox division. The significant gaming cuts will affect nearly every part of Xbox and also involve 4 game studios being spun off to be run independently from Microsoft. Today's layoffs, which are being described as an Xbox reset moment, no, it's not. They're over. It's over. Xbox is over, man. Moment will impact around 1,600 Xbox employees, according to an internal memo from Xbox CEO Asha Sharma. Yeah, she's there to help sunset things. It's over. The cuts won't end today, though, as Microsoft is planning to eliminate a total of around 20% of Xbox jobs by the end of financial year in July 2027. Double Fine and Compulsion Games are returning to their founders, of course. So Tim Schafer will take Double Fine back to independent, along with Guillaume Provost making Compulsion Games an indie game studio again. Ninja Theory, the makers of Hellblade, and Undead Labs, the developers behind State of Decay, are also being sold, with agreements in place to ensure Senua and State of Decay 3 continue to ship. Quote, I recognize that a year-long structuring creating additional challenges. Unfortunately, it is not possible to make, I'm assuming this is Asha Sharma. It is not possible to make all the necessary changes in a single day, and I wanted to be direct with the scale. Yeah, it's Sharma. Yeah, it says Sharma. I know this is painful. These changes will directly affect people who have poured their creativity into building Xbox. Many joined us through acquisitions, while others were recruited here or sought us out because they loved this industry and loved Xbox. Today's decisions do not reflect their talent or dedication. Microsoft is also weighing up selling or closing another Xbox studio. As reported last week, Arcane Studios is currently working on Blade under Xbox management. What? But the project has been delayed and is running over budget. Oh, Jesus. In France, Arcane's management is beginning to wait. What the fuck is going? Arcane's management is beginning required. What the fuck does that mean? Consultation. Beginning to require consultation with its works council to review potential strategic options. I hate when shit gets wrote wrong. This is clearly wrote wrong. Arcane's management is beginning to be required consolation. Yeah, so whatever. Says Sharma. These discussions could take months. It's not clear what happened to Blade or Arcane Studios just yet. Other Xbox studios will also be impacted by layoffs across the board, and I understand there are larger cuts to Bethesda studios in particular. As part of the studio change, Minecraft maker Mojang and Candy Crush developer King will both now report directly to Sharma. These changes are in size across Activision, Bethesda, ZeniMax, Blizzard, King, Mojang, and Xbox Studios, says Sharma. None of our first-party publicly announced games or projects are being canceled as part of these reductions. Reductions, sure. I still think they're dying. I still think it's dying. Today's cuts at Xbox look like they're targeted at reversing some of the smaller studio acquisitions. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, so do I really got to keep reading all of this? I'm going to link it in the description. I'm not going to read all of this. This is ridiculous. There's too much going on here. Oh, wow. What the hell is this? Here's Sharma's full memo. There's a full memo. I could have just read the memo. You asses. I should have just... Oh, let me just read this real quick. We are beginning the most significant restructure in Xbox history. After careful consideration, I've made the difficult decision to reduce our team by approximately 3,200 throughout FY27. This will include approximately 1,600 role eliminations today, and in addition, 4 studios will leave Xbox to new management. I recognize that a year-long restructuring creates additional challenges. Unfortunately, it is not possible to make all the necessary changes in a single day, and I wanted to be direct about the scale. I know this is painful. These changes will directly affect people who have poured their creativity into Xbox. Many joined us through acquisitions, while others were recruited here or sought us out because, we read that up above. Our business today is not healthy. No shit. It's because you have I'll get into that in a minute. Not healthy. We are operating at margins that are 3 to 10 times lower than comparable platform and publishing businesses. We entered Gen 9 with a smaller install base and a higher cost structure. To grow, we bet on Game Pass, multi-platform, and a broader portfolio of content. While those businesses have created meaningful value, they did not grow at the pace we expected. As that happened, our core business weakened, and we added more teams, more investment, and more time, hoping for a better outcome. And now the industry is facing the most severe hardware crisis in its history. We must reset Xbox. First, we will reset our content portfolio. Since 28, it sounds like they're just getting rid of the little guys. They're getting rid of the little guys and they're keeping the big guys. Since 2018, we have aggressively expanded our studio portfolio, while the number of games created each month across the industry now outpace the last 10 years combined. We now find ourselves competing not only with the largest publishers, but also with the smaller independent studios. Yes! Yes, you fucking are! So is Sony. So are the rest of these motherfuckers. You are competing with the little guy. You are competing with indie motherfuckers. You fucking assholes. Yes, you are. And you deserve it. The whole, I don't have to read the rest of this. Like I said, I'm going to put it in the description. I don't feel like reading all of this. There's no point in reading all of this. You get the gist. You get the point. You know what's going on. And I will let you just go in and read this. I'm not going to sit here all day. It's been already 9 minutes of a video. I don't like making very long videos. So here's the thing. Let's read back for a second. Our business today is not healthy. No fucking shit. And it's your investors' faults. All right? It's misguided leadership. All right, very much misguided leadership. Let's not all, and it's been downhill, and they haven't been able to shake it since the reveal of the Xbox One. Remember the Xbox One reveal? Remember when they told people just get the Xbox 360? Oh, we have a product that's the Xbox 360. He was such a snood, snidely little bastard. I don't think he's in the industry anymore. I might be wrong. If he's not, if he is in the industry, he doesn't need to be in the industry. These corporate assholes are the ones who are at fault for how this world is. And I love how, and it's Microsoft is part of the problem. That's what gets me. Microsoft, you are part of the freaking problem. Let's just go back to face. You're a part of the freaking, that wipe is ugly. You're part of the freaking problem, Microsoft. You led us down this fucking road with the AI bullshit. Nobody gives a fucking rat's ass about AI. Your entire company looks bad because of the AI. People don't want to use Windows. People don't want to get Xboxes. Everything that you have done is your own fucking undoing. It's your fault. It is your ruining. You did this. You did this. It's self-harm. You morons. You morons. But I knew from day one, back in the early 2000s, when they jumped in and made the first Xbox and everything, and they announced that they were getting into it and everything, I was sitting at my house in Houston going, they have no business doing that. And I read it in a magazine at the time. I didn't know nothing else going on, you know. I just read it in a fucking magazine. I think I read it in the magazine. I think I seen it at a friend's house on his computer on IGN and read about it. And I was like, they have no business. I said it back then, and I'll say it now. You had no business. You didn't need to be in this market because I knew you would screw it up. I knew you would just cock everything up. You'd screw it the hell over. I knew this, and it took longer than I expected, but here we are. I had the foresight to know that Xbox would mess all of this up. Guess what's happening? Xbox is screwing it all up. And I'm not shocked. I'm not surprised at all. I saw this coming, and it's going to get worse. Like they're like, oh yeah, we're holding on to, they're holding on to Bethesda and I think id and their bigger studios. Basically, they're letting go of the smaller studios, the indie studios and whatnot, because that's what Double Fine was. Double Fine was almost indie. Like they were just a small third-party studio. Basically, they're all just going back to third party. The indie studio is just an lone indie studio. But I love the part. I love the part where she said that yeah. It is neither possible nor desirable to own every great independent studio. We have also learned that we are not the best home for every type of studio. That's something I'm reading right here. Every type of studio in a typical year. We lost 64 cents for every dollar we invested. As we reset Xbox, we will help independent creators succeed by providing open development tools and audiences to realize their vision. But we're not handing you a dime. We're not handing you a dime anymore. Instead, we're just going to try and get you some exposure. We would still love to have your games on whatever platform we have, but yeah. That's just how this industry goes. Who was the only... I hate this. I hate that this is true. But I feel like at this point, and I might be wrong, but I feel like Nintendo's probably the strongest right now. I don't even think Sony is the strongest. I think there's a lot of mismanagement. There's mismanagement at Nintendo too, but there's mismanagement at Sony and PlayStation. There's mismanagement all around. All around. Just the wrong vibe and everything. And of course the AI shit and the memory problem, the memory cartel, which, let me take a moment just to direct a message directly to China. If you are working on fabrication and whatnot to create memory, please do. Please do. I will be the first in line to buy Chinese-made memory. I don't care. It's something we need, and I think they know that. That's what I'm saying. They're like, the cartels, they're not going to sell anymore. They're trying to force us to own nothing and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, no. Because if somebody steps away from that kind of thing and tries to force that kind of thing, there's always going to be companies that step in and see an opening for that. And they're going to be like, oh, we can make money in this area. You know, because you are abandoning them. So that's why I get so irritated with the doom and gloom BS. That's why I get so irritated. And I didn't do a video on it, but hell, even Sony's getting sued over in Europe. Didn't do a video on it. I didn't really want to. I didn't care. But there it is. I'm interested in this. I'm fascinated in this because I kind of saw it coming. I didn't see it coming this far along, but I knew it would happen eventually. They had no business. And I don't think the industry can sustain 3 companies. That's my thing. Competition is good, but I just don't think the industry can support 3 big companies. That's the thing. We have Nintendo, and I'm not happy with them. I'm probably never going to own another Nintendo hardware, but we have Nintendo, we have Sony. That's all we need right now. That's it. It's still competition, by the way, regardless of what anybody thinks or what Nintendo themselves say or Sony say. They are still competing. Both companies make devices for playing games. They both make games. So there we go. There's still competition. That whole thing where Nintendo's like, oh, we're not really competition. And I bet you the higher ups at Sony don't agree with that sentiment either. They're like, oh yeah, Nintendo, that's our biggest threat right now to world dominance. We have to do something about Nintendo. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Nintendo. I have no hat in the race. Right now, I've basically become a PC gamer, basically, at this point, which who knows how long that's going to last. That's the thing. And I'll go back to it, and I'll say it again real quickly before I end this video. They're going to try and take everything away. They're going to try and have you own nothing. Try. But I don't see them succeeding. I just don't. There's too many variables. Like, nobody thinks about variables anymore. That's why I get irritated with Review Tech USA. He's supposed to be a really smart guy, but he's never thought of variables. There are variables. It's basically the what ifs. What if this happens and this happens and these things could happen? And he doesn't think about that. He doesn't think about the pushback from certain people that make hardware and whatnot and make devices like phones and all this other things that can be pushed back on. He doesn't think about that. That is a variable. All right. He doesn't think about the fact that China could start making memory and pumping it into the market. That's a variable. All right. All right. Things can change. There's also another variable. Us, individuals, people who buy, we could say no. That's why I'm such an optimist. I'm so optimistic about things. I know things can go well. We have the potential for things to go well. But I don't see the potential in Xbox. I didn't since day one. I just didn't. I said one day Xbox is going to go. It's just not going to work out. Because I know who they are as a company. It's in their DNA to be shitty. Microsoft has the DNA of shittiness. They have for a long time. For the capacity to do the amazing things that they can do, they still cock things up because of their greed. Microsoft, you are in for it, man. I know they are, and I'm not happy about it. I wish they would just straighten their asses up and fly right, but they ain't going to do it. And that's all I've got to say. It's been 18 minutes of a video. I'm not doing this. And that's all I got to say. If you like the video, smack the like button like it owes you money. I'll see you later.